Many of us were taught to read in a very straight line. You memorize a specific sound, you pass a test on it, and then you move on to the next one, leaving the old one behind. When we watch how children learn in the real world, it doesn't look like a series of tests. They learn by playing, by hearing the same stories over and over, and by naturally building on what they already enjoy. Teaching literacy should work the same way, not as a rigid, fragile line, but as an experience that grows with the child. This brings a different approach to life, the Smiles Literacy Engine. Every lesson happens inside a narrative adventure. Learning happens in the context of a story. Skills are woven into an explored world. By placing these lessons inside a playground of stories, the repetition feels natural. It turns the hard work of learning into a safe, engaging game. At the top of this diagram, the process begins with one new connection between a letter and its sound. This single piece of information powers the machinery of the lesson. Like a gear, it gives the child energy to work through the story. This image shows the first stop, the reading station. The child uses the information they just learned to open up a new set of words. They piece together how letters form a word, like finding the right tool to see how a machine is built. Being able to say the word correctly is a huge first step. But the journey doesn't end there. The child also needs to know why that word matters. In this scene, we move to the comprehension station. Rather than looking at the word on its own, the child looks at what's happening in the story around it. As they follow the map and footprints, they use the story to understand what they read. This active investigation is the bridge that connects the mechanical act of reading a word to actually understanding the message it carries. We then arrive at the third and final station, expression. Here, the child is encouraged to speak and draw, using the concepts they've just mastered. They take the word they've learned and use it in their own way, whether by telling a story aloud or practicing how to write it down on paper. The act of making something new with that word, physically and mentally, is what truly settles the lesson into their memory. This completes the loop. The child has gone from seeing a new sound to using it to express their own ideas. Now look at this circular path. This shows the core of the method. The child doesn't just visit these 3 stations once. The cycle repeats every single time a new sound or letter is introduced. They read, they understand, and they express, over and over again. On the right side of this chart, you can see how those repeated loops keep old skills strong. Because the child is always returning to these steps, they are constantly practicing what they've already learned. This constant reinforcement is what prevents the foundation from cracking. It ensures a child never feels like they've hit a wall. This illustrates how constant practice leads to something bigger. Each new story adds a layer, so the path isn't a flat circle. As the spiral rises, the child builds on previous lessons to reach a higher level. They aren't just repeating, they're climbing. This journey turns what could be a difficult task into a steady, joyful climb. True mastery happens naturally, because the child is always growing within the story. The Smiles engine creates a path for lifelong literacy that never has to stop. We invite you to begin your child's story today.